Good evening and welcome to WANA Live, the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick, and this is your other host,
Christina Fasonic. And how are you this evening, Damian?
I'm great. We have a guest dog that just burst and through the door. Anyway, I'm excited. We have a Pitt alum this evening, a writer I've admired for quite some time. So I'm really glad we're able to get him on the show.
Awesome. So you want to tell us about him?
I would love to. We've got Sal Pane tonight. He was born and raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's the author of two novels. One is called Last Call in the City of Bridges, and The Theory of Almost Everything, a book, and as a book of nonfiction, Mega Man 3. His shorter work won the Turow-Kinder Award, judged by Stewart O'Nan, was nominated for the Pushcart Prize, and has appeared in the Indiana Review, American Short Fiction, Story Magazine, and many other venues. He is the associate professor at the University of St. Thomas, and he lives in St. Paul, Minnesota. Let's bring him out.
All right. Let's bring him out.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be on the show, and thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that, Damian. I'm just very excited to hear that.
Well, it's great that you were able to make time to be on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thrilled to be invited.
I love your book titles. I love your book titles. They are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're great. So what will you be reading for us tonight?
So I'm going to read, so my new book is called The Neo-Realist in Winter. You can see it here. And I'm going to read the start of one story. It's called Mama Draga. And it's set in Pittsburgh. So I thought that would be a good thing to read, so because Damian and I met in Pittsburgh and I am Pitt alum. But it's also it gets a little spooky as we go into the fiction. The start is pretty realistic, so I thought it's October. We're approaching Halloween. It felt appropriate.
So it's seasonal.
Yeah. Timely.
Super cool. All right. So, we're going to disappear. We'll let you do your thing.
Okay. Yes, we'll be right back. We're not ghosting you, though.
Okay, so this is Mama Draga. Frank bought the skateboard 7 weeks after his divorce. It gave him something positive to focus on even before it arrived, when it was only a tracking number, a link to refresh late at night, when Frank blinked himself awake and remembered he was no longer in his split level, but instead his childhood bedroom in Squirrel Hill. He reached for his cell phone on those sleepless nights and flooded the tiny room with artificial light. There it appeared, the Crimson Cross 8x31.5 pre-assembled skateboard moving in an unbroken line across America, headed straight for Frank Catalano, fresh divorcee. He sliced through the packing tape when it finally arrived, raising the board high above his head like something holy. As a teen at the turn of the millennium, Frank had goofed around with skateboards like the rest of his athletic friends, would clip a Discman to his jeans and sail across those inky black parking lots. Even then, he couldn't compare to the best skaters of Central Catholic, kids who effortlessly grinded rails and impressed the girls who smelled permanently of patchouli. Frank was captain of the hockey team and occasionally landed a successful kickflip while his best friend Rocco hooted from the trunk of the car. So it wasn't nostalgia that summoned Frank back to skateboarding, but something more difficult to convey. He deleted most of his social media accounts after the divorce. He knew what he'd find there and couldn't bear scrolling past Amy, mugging in her new house, or posing with her brand new hybrid car. But Frank held onto Instagram because he never uploaded pictures and hadn't added a single friend. Instead, he went by the anonymous black and gold 1984 guy and confined himself to the Discover tab and its surprising number of hockey reels. Each time he liked a video of some rando landing a trick shot, the algorithm would remember and beam related topics his way. This eventually led him to skateboarding and the many reels of daredevils attempting goofy foot nollies over car-sized gaps. He had no illusions about leaping gaps himself. Pickup games at the ice complex kept him in shape, but he was still a 36-year-old man who drank a case of Yingling every week. But if he could just skateboard again and balance the weight of his body on that wooden board for even a handful of minutes, then he could definitively prove to himself that he was headed in the right direction and not a fool for nurturing hope for the future. Frank tucked the new skateboard under his arm and climbed into his sedan, a Saturn with 250,000 miles on the odometer. The art under the board depicted a bloody cross guarded by ghosts. Nothing macabre, just some ragtag Caspers like kids on Halloween wearing bedsheets with their eyes cut out. He'd chosen this board on impulse, grateful for that familiar rush of endorphins, the chemical happiness produced whenever he, quote, did a capitalism, like his Gen Z coworkers teased. Frank zipper merged onto the highway and drove to the suburbs, steering into a boarded-up strip mall. Thanks to a dozen how-to videos on YouTube, Frank knew exactly how to position himself on the board above the smooth pavement, how to lead with his right foot and push off with his left, how to swivel his sneakers in the proper direction. All this was muscle memory, and Frank felt deeply reassured by how easily it returned, how quickly he picked up speed and carved circles just by crouching and leaning slightly to the left. Skating made him feel like a tiny bird had hatched inside his body, a delicate secret that flushed his cheeks. Frank couldn't kickflip or ollie or grind, but he could at least propel himself forward. That, more than anything else, was something worth living for. Frank sprained his ankle 2 weeks later, but what a glorious period it was. What he loved most about his new life as a skateboarder was how dramatically it transformed his worldview. Before skateboarding, Frank drove to work on autopilot, zoning out to hockey podcasts or talk radio. Mondays through Thursdays, Frank was an office temp for a shipping company in the burbs, but since that was only part-time, he also picked up hours at Trader Joe's, tearing open cartons of orange chicken or palak paneer, working just long enough for the benefits. He rarely noticed his surroundings because he lived in Pittsburgh all his life and knew its bridges and curves as intimately as the topography of Amy's body. This wasn't blight as he passed every empty lot. It was opportunity. Skateboarding filtered his reality in patches of Pittsburgh he'd never truly noticed before, a sloping set of rails off Park Avenue, the curved ledges by the post office, pulsed alive with wonder and possibility. During those magical 2 weeks, Frank rode every day. He even bought a pair of Nike Blazers, popular on our skateboarding, and admired his transformation in his bedroom mirror, how powerful he now appeared. Frank knew from Reddit that everyone fell, and then it was better to get it over with. But after his initial success, he tricked himself into believing that he was perhaps the exception, a former athlete with unusual control over his body. It wouldn't have been so bad if he fell doing something cool, but instead he was skating very slowly through a Dollar Tree parking lot when he attempted a kick turn around a patch of gravel. The board shot out from under his blazers, and Frank's right foot buckled at a 90-degree angle. He fell gently to the ground and assumed everything was fine, that he'd crossed the harmless threshold he read about online. But after standing, Frank discovered he couldn't feel his right foot, stiff as a board. It was evening in August, and the breeze gave Frank gooseflesh, a coming attraction for autumn. Frank managed the short drive home and undid his blazers at the door. A softball-sized lump emerged from his ankle sock, and Frank just stared at it, checking his watch to see when his mother would return from Minio's. In high school, he'd fallen dozens of times on his cheapo skateboard from Kmart and popped right back up like a spring. During hockey games, he must have collapsed against the unforgiving ice 100 times, and not once did he suffer an injury. How had this happened when he was skating so slowly, barely doing anything, barely even moving? He typed swollen ankle into his phone and elevated his leg in his father's old armchair, icing the sprain with a bag of frozen peas. I think I'll stop there. You'll have to read the book if you want to see how it ends up and how ghosts get involved in the skateboarding divorce story.
I really love this because I was thinking about, big moments in life like divorce or the death of a parent or something makes us return. Like we seek out the things that make us feel energetic and useful, but it almost always turns into a situation where we realize, oh shit, we're 36 though. And maybe we could do this at one point, but all the YouTube videos in the world are not going to make up for creaky joints and the lack of balance and drinking too much Yingling and all the things. So I could really sympathize with this character and what they were going through. So it was really good. And I you had me hooked from the beginning when I was imagining this skateboard coming across the country, and I was like, wait a minute, is somebody on it? What's the situation? Oh, it's coming through the mail. So I really enjoyed listening. I can't wait to read the rest of the story.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I feel totally the same way. Like I pulled my back reaching for shampoo this morning. So it's like I'm feeling definitely all of that, you know.
Oh, and it's not like it goes away easily either, because you could get a strain or something before when you were younger and it maybe be gone by the next day, the day after, but 3 weeks later you're like, man, that shampoo bottle though.
I think you need to see the glass half full. You're somebody young enough to need shampoo.
That's true. And I am really enjoying it because it is running out. Like, it's like, I don't know how much time I have left, but it's I'm in the fourth quarter of my enjoying hair days for sure.
So this book won the 2022 Fiction Prize from Autumn House Press in Pittsburgh. I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And I want to say well deserved. I really, really love what you were doing. You're just really your prose as a prose stylist. This is at least I think this is your strongest work yet. Is really the language really sings. You write with such confidence.
Wow, that's such an incredible compliment because I feel like I have no confidence ever at any phase of my life. So it's amazing. Like, oh, I finally faked it well enough that it's working. But thank you. So that's so kind, and I just really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just so thrilled I won the prize, and everyone at Autumn House has been just absolutely lovely and fantastic to work with. And it's just a great homecoming for me because I think of Pittsburgh as my literary home, and just it's just so great to just have another book come out there, so it's just very, very exciting.
Yeah, we're great admirers of the Autumn House.
They're great.
Yeah, they do great work. They've really done an awesome job of supporting and sharing with the world great writers from Northern Appalachia. They are really so important to our understanding of the region and the region's writers and writing.
Yeah, and I was noticing that if you want to, because I was if you want to read, get a little taste of more of a taste of the neorealist in winter, that you were a Litzberg feature.
Yes, so, and I think they posted Mama Draga. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think they posted the first half of it.
So if you want to keep reading it and you don't want to wait until you get the book, you can sneak a little bit of it that way.
Yeah, that'd be great. And the book comes out the 23rd, so we're just 4 days out from the release, which I'm very excited.
Oh, wow, exciting! Yeah. Where is your release party? Is it in Pittsburgh or is it where you are now?
So it's gonna be in St. Paul. So I'm doing a reading here, not this upcoming week, but the week right after, a big kind of launch event with the writer Brian Oliu, who I love and admire his work, and we're doing it next chapter. So that is November 2nd. It's on a Friday, and it's at 6 p.m. Central because we're in the Central Time Zone. But then I'll be in Pittsburgh. I think the date is March 23rd at White Whale. So
super cool.
Well, yes. So I'll definitely be there. Yes. I'm really excited.
Surprised. We'd love to.
100%. Yeah. I'll keep you posted. I'd love to see you both there, and that would be awesome. Yeah. So because I haven't been back in a few years, probably since the pandemic, obviously. So I'm very excited to get back to Pittsburgh.
And we also very much love White Whale too. So we'll be happy to go and support you there. Go ahead, Damien. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No. I love I love the cover. Do you have the? Cool. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That is awesome. Well,
congratulations. This is by Joel Coggins too, I should mention. So Joel Coggins was the cover designer. So I just want to shout him out.
Cool. Love the book. Congratulations on the contest. Cannot wait to see you reading in March. And I'm also looking forward to buying this and reading it. It looks like terrific work. I'm really enjoying what I've heard so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
So I think we have a couple of short announcements before we let everyone go.
Yeah.
So Lit Youngstown is in process right now in Youngstown, Ohio, and WANA, this is our 3rd year of going, and we're selling our members books like usual. I'll be presenting tomorrow at 1, and there's amazing writers there, all different kinds of writers from many different genres, and goes tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So if you're in the area, people, you should step over there and check it out. It's definitely worth it. And I think that a lot of the events are free. So absolutely check them out on their website. And Damien, you have congratulations.
I do. I was just going to say, yeah, definitely. If you're able to get to Youngstown, please stop by the WANA table. We have volunteers not only manning the table but signing books. So we're excited about that. But yes, we do.
Not other people's.
Oh yeah, they're signing their own books, not just big congratulations for one of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia, one of the writers that we support and we love and we admire. Jennifer Haig is the winner of the Mark Twain Prize. So big congratulations to Jennifer for her amazing novel, Mercy Street. We just want to send out, we could not be happier for her here at WANA.
She is so great. Can I just add, she was the visiting writer when I was an undergrad 20 years ago. So and she really made an impression on me. It was so awesome. So just love whenever she gets, has her many successes. But she's
yeah. She's so. I had her visit when I taught at Clarion, and it was really. She gave a wonderful reading and had a great conversation with our students. So it was neat for them to meet somebody who's kind of working at that level. So big congratulations to Jennifer on this big win.
Good job, Jennifer. Awesome. So we will see you all next week, same time, same place, but with a different winner. And it was nice to meet you, Sal. And good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right,